Hey YouTube, this is Rack City. I'm Marcus.
I'm Rants.
I'm Nikki.
And this is Reactcast number 2x14. I said the whole thing there. Yeah, so this week some funny stuff happened. You know how that Barbie movie was coming out?
Yeah, Margot Robbie.
And Oppenheimer. You heard of that one?
I heard of it. I haven't seen anything about it.
Oppenheimer is the movie talking about the guy who built the atomic bomb. But for whatever reason, they're both coming out pretty much at the same time. And a lot of theaters took this opportunity to do a double feature. You can watch the Barbie movie and the Oppenheimer movie back to back. Oppenheimer is 3 hours long. Okay.
The theaters are just jumping at any possible thread of hope that they can. Honestly,
yes,
it really is.
200,000 people apparently did do the double feature.
Oh, it premiered in Los Angeles on the 9th.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense because I did see her do the whole screening thing.
Alrighty.
And she was doing a press tour, and mid-press tour, it got dropped because the SAG-AFTRA strike kicked off. Which is why I speculated early on there was such a media blitz with her where she was just going everywhere doing all these press tours because they could force her during that time period to do it. And then the strike kicked off, and then she's gone doing the strike.
She's on the strike.
She's on the strike.
Yeah.
Wait, is she?
The entire thing is on the strike.
Is she? Because I thought, is all of Hollywood in a union? I don't know how how much control the unions have. Because I know there's some sectors where literally everybody has to be in a union or you can't even hold a job.
The vast majority are, from what I get.
The vast majority. So there are some that aren't.
I think so. I don't exactly know the mechanics of it, but from my understanding, it's pretty much Hollywood's all other actors are on strike right now.
Because I wonder, is Margot Robbie on strike for is she enjoying this, or is she I guess I gotta go on strike?
She voiced support.
Okay.
So I actually did plan on bringing this up a bit because we were talking about the other day the Writers Guild strike. SAG-AFTRA is striking with 160,000 members. And the Writers Guild, which has already done a lot to Hollywood, was only 11,000 people.
Whoa. Wow.
Okay.
So this is a big hit to Hollywood then. It's gotta be.
This is the first time in decades that both the writers and the actors have been on strike at the same time.
Nice, very nice.
So the reason I wrote down here is a dispute over compensation. The minimum wage just isn't enough these days, especially in light of the industry-wide shift towards streaming that has changed the way people get residuals and royalty payments.
Yeah, they're taking advantage.
The reason this is a big problem is because streaming services are notoriously cloudy over their viewership numbers, making it very hard for the actors to know how much they should be getting paid or could have been getting paid if they were not on the streaming service. This is also one of the reasons that you saw Scarlett Johansson sue Disney for doing the streaming instead of regular movies.
Less money.
She felt that it severely hampered how much money she would have gotten.
You know what? It makes sense that the streaming thing being so new on the scene, they're going to take advantage of any amount of fuzziness that they can conjure up as possible so that they can get their money. And they're basically milking it for as long as they can before the government would be like, no, you gotta be clearer now. Fix it.
Yeah, and also there were concerns about AI because the studios, they want to use your likeness forever over very minor compensation. So you could see a movie 100 years from now with fake extras in the background who just got $100 100 years before. So it could be something that crazy. So they just want to just have clear lines of this is not allowed. We do this way. We don't let AI just take your job forever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because even if those guys get paid a good amount of money, everyone else is out of the job forever because who needs to pay you a lot of money when we've got 20 dudes over here forever?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it makes sense. The whole thing where AI can mimic people's voices.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. They have to put some sort of limitations on it, or I don't know. The many industries will go down. For it'll go down hard and it'll be hard to resurrect. It'll have to resurrect because people need to work to earn money to pay for the things that people are selling. So but the whole AI question, the legal side of it, I was doing some research for something I was doing, I can't remember, and there are already not quite industries, but there are rising positions that are just focused on AI, intellectual property and those kind of things with AI.
Yeah.
But so we're also watching Jujutsu Kaisen again.
Yeah.
We are on episode 3, I believe. We just watched 3. Right?
Yes, I think we just watched 3 for this week.
So how is it treating you? It's back.
Yeah, I'm loving it. It's exciting to see. We're gonna get to see Gojo and Geto's history. Ghetto.
He's so ghetto.
He's so ghetto. And I hate that it's making me like feel compassion towards him right now.
Feel the compassion.
I hate it, but it's exciting because I want to like, how did Gojo change? Like he changed. We talked about.
Yeah.
He's changed.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But he's still in some ways similar to how he is right now as a kid, you know, that we're watching. So I'm excited to see this unfold, and also like terrified because I feel like whatever this is going to cause this rift is going to be very sad.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
It's going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Rip your heart out.
Enough to like turn Gojo's mind. Like I feel like it's going to be a flip of a dime that switches Gojo and Geto.
Yeah, because it's like, I like with Gojo, the attitude is still there, it just changes sides.
Yeah.
It's always there. I'd be surprised if he ever admits he's wrong. He just no, I'm like this now.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it though. I love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
They're doing this thing where like they change to a completely different story in the next season, but I'm not feeling any of that.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's a completely different thing from last time. Why am I watching this? You know, I'm still interested and I'm still excited, even though I know where these people end up in the future. I'm still like, ooh, what happens next? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weirdly, when we were watching that, I almost want to say I wanted to feel disappointed because I just wanted to get back to Yuji and what they were doing. Yeah. But I wasn't. I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. The intro is all them as kids. We're definitely not going back to Yuji this season.
Unless they do an arc. Yeah, I mean, last season they switched intros last season or no? I can't remember. I think they did. They did. Yes. Yeah.
If it's 4 episodes, they did.
They did, because I remember of the whole fake out with a character that appears and then disappears. Is in the intro. Remember that? Yeah. So they did switch it out. But also, I was gonna say something else about what you said. I can't remember. But the other thing I was thinking that why maybe the feeling we didn't get that feeling of I miss the old crew is because something we talked about before about Itadori and Itadori Yuji, which is he's kind of a blank canvas character.
Yeah.
He's not got a lot of main, like he started to grow like his abilities and stuff, but I actually, when I remember the first season, I don't think about him so much. I didn't even remember that he was a part of the fight with Nobaru and those guys on the truck. I don't remember it was him and her. I just remember her.
Wow.
I remember her and I remember Megumi's fight.
Wow.
I do not remember. I remember Itadori getting the his hand eating the finger at the last minute. I do not remember. I'm like, wow. It's because I remember I think you were the one who was saying that he's such a blank canvas character, and I think you took a while to warm up to him.
I don't remember, but I believe it if you said I did.
Yeah, I feel like you were like at first a little taken aback that he was like that, but you were like, okay, whatever. But I think that might be part of the reason why we're like the main character for the show. We don't miss him. It's okay, Yuji. You can take a seat. The other side characters are more interesting. Gojo's story, yeah, please, I want that.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons that we're not really like disappointed.
Japanese manga in general seems to be very good at the main character is not the most interesting thing here. Yeah. And I do appreciate it, but the way you do it in different mangas, I'm starting to really see the contrast because people were complaining. Remember last time I was talking about how people were saying, what's his name? Midori was such a boring main character. Yeah. Who's the other person that I said was surprisingly boring?
Tanjiro? No.
Yes. People were saying Tanjiro is a boring main character, and I just didn't see it. Yeah. But I think it's because people just get sick of it. Maybe because they read or consume an incredible amount of manga and they see it over and over and over again. But then you kind of see the tropes now, because with Itadori, and now with recently I saw Chainsaw Man. I didn't watch it, but I know about the character now. They're very much the dumb, lovable, loyal puppies that are the main characters.
That's an incredibly accurate statement.
Yes.
They do not understand the danger, but it doesn't matter because they're loyal and they do what it takes to. I want to get strong and I want to live. I mean, the two most basic possible things a human being can I mean, really. Yeah. You know? But everyone around them, you look at someone
they
like
have some interesting things, idiosyncrasies.
He's trying to avenge his family. You've got Nobaru, who's trying to find her friend / also be very strong and wanting to be pretty and not conform to what people's ideals are. Yeah. Everyone around them are so interesting except them. Yeah. But I don't hate
it's on purpose, right?
It's very much on purpose.
Although they nail it with character design.
Yeah, they do the character
characters.
That's where all of their interest culminates.
Yeah, which in a way informs the viewer that this is not a bad character. This is something they did on purpose so that you can use them as a vehicle to digest the world in a way.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I can see why someone would get frustrated. I don't hate Itadori by any stretch of I really like Itadori, and I want to see what he's doing.
Same.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see if he'll be able to do a domain expansion
one day.
Yeah, and like, would it look like exactly like what's his name, Sukuna?
Sukuna's
domain.
Or he's just so powerful when he does it, nothing happens. It's because the entire world is so big.
Domain.
Like the whole screen just kind of changes color, and you're like, nothing happened.
Crazy. But I saw comments that I kept meaning to bring up in the discussions that I forgot. So maybe here's actually a better place for it. Is that people were talking about how with the trio in modern times with Itadori and the other two, what's her name? Noboru. I can't remember an exact instance, but she's way more aggressive in the conversations that the three have. Like, she's not a back character. She's always present in every conversation that they're having. She always has an opinion, and she's always kind of balancing out the other two who are either way too withdrawn with Megumi or way too forward with Itadori.
Yeah.
And with our characters now that we're watching with Gojo-Geto and Shoko is out of it entirely.
Yeah.
And someone was pointing out that they wonder if her running out of the gymnasium when they started to fight is kind of like an analogy for their entire relationship of these two are butting heads and there's nothing stopping them. Because the principal just so happens to come in at that time, but he doesn't really care what these guys do.
Yeah.
He's above them, but he's not involved in their lives.
Yeah.
With Itadori, Gojo is involved, and he tries to help all of them change their ways or
mold them,
not necessarily change them, understand themselves, help them understand themselves. Noboru would have stopped the fight if she was in that place.
That's true.
Shoko just leaves, and maybe that's part of the reason why these two
had a rift. Nobody to balance them out.
Noboru would join the fight. Just
join the
fight. Threaten them with a hammer.
Yeah, I just found an interesting comparison. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I wonder if that is going to add to anything in the future, like the fact that there is nobody like calming these people down or like teaching them how to communicate, you know? But I wonder if it's basically going to say like this is what the difference is going to be with Itadori in our group, and this is what's going to keep everybody's heads on straight.
When the breaking point comes, that's why it doesn't break.
Yeah, that's an interesting. It makes me think of if I do look at Itadori and Megumi. Megumi is a very sulky character, and he could easily. I remember his ideals were strange too. Like I remember when they were trying to pinpoint him. Even what's his name? Sakuna found him interesting.
Yeah.
And he was trying to when he was trying to save Itadori. Remember, he was talking about some of his ideals. I can't remember the scene exactly or what he said, but I remember it was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, whoa! I remember we wanted to know more.
Something about him being like he doesn't want to save anybody. He just doesn't want anybody to die in front of him.
Yes, and something about saving people that Itadori differed with. That remember when they were going into the prison? There's something about that there too.
Yeah, I can't quite remember, but that sounds familiar.
Yes. So I'm thinking like a little parallel could appear because it looks like even the ideals between Geto and Gojo now, they're pretty like different, right?
Yes.
And Gojo sounds so extreme, but at the same time,
weak.
At the same time, he doesn't seem harmful or
he's not active on it.
He's not malicious. He doesn't seem malicious, and it doesn't look on the surface that it would go that way.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with Itadori and Megumi. I'm like, but they have a Noboru. So will we see like somebody worrying about the two of them as they escalate in their ideals, and then suddenly no, it's not a problem because we got her. Yeah. Something like that, or what's his name, Gojo worrying because that happened between him and Geto. And I just wonder if that parallel will be drawn one day.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Because I guess in a way they all kind of do something to balance each other out, because Megumi kind of grounds the other two because they're just high energy all the time.
Yes.
And the other two are kind of like, both of their ideals are very selfish.
Yeah.
Whereas Itadori is doing this completely like almost altruistically. He's like, yeah, sure, you can kill me after I get all the fingers. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I just want to live for a while. You know. And Noboru just kind of keeps the others from exploding, killing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in a way the reason they did show us this prequel season 2 is because they want to show how everything went wrong and then show it happening again, and then the audience can be like, oh, I can see this happening again, something like that. The definition of show not tell.
Yeah,
really show them what went wrong.
Show the whole thing.
Yeah. No flashbacks. Flash season.
And I also wonder if maybe we get a little bit of unreliable narrator.
Oh, that would be cool. I like unreliable narration.
It's just they're so direct opposite in their beliefs, but they're both fully formed. In that Gojo already has had his weird backstory where they kind of hinted at as a child he was abandoned or something like that. And they've already got Geto, who seemingly has no family, and he's on his own at the school. So what could anyone here lose that affects them so much that they change? Especially because I thought at first it was Shoko, but then I forgot, Shoko's in season 1.
Yeah.
So what could have possibly happened that any of these people to care about? Like, they all have to care about the same thing for it to break the group apart.
I wonder if it's the junior. Because I don't remember her future
Star
self.
Plasma?
No, the junior. It could be the Star Plasma. She's a high possibility. But I'm thinking about the junior that Gojo was making fun of when he rescued her from the very beginning.
She's in season 2.
Yeah, I don't remember what she was.
Oh, the scar on the face?
The scar on the face.
Oh, yeah. He teases her all the time.
In the first season.
No, I don't remember her. Okay, so everybody's there, yeah. So it's Star Plasma then. Unless somebody else appears. Yeah,
I keep wanting to point something out with Star Plasma, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want it to be at the front of my mind or either of your guys' mind while you're watching this, because this is interesting. But I'm like, is this spoiler because it happens in season 1? But technically, do they not want you to think about it? Like, I don't know.
I think we don't remember a lot from season 1. So if you remember something, please.
And also, if you notice something, it's not spoiler. It's just not, because you don't know the story.
Yeah,
it's true, but
you haven't read the manga or anything, so anything you notice is theory.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
but no, what I know is fact, though.
Okay.
Why do you know it's fact?
Because they straight up say it in season 1.
Well, then we should know.
I don't want you to know, because then you gotta maybe it affects your viewing experience because you're just kind of like waiting for this to happen.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
She has done soft spoilers before and not thought it was a spoiler. So if she feels this strongly about it, I'm gonna trust you.
Okay.
But something else. Something I did notice from season 1 actually is the reason Gojo's red isn't working. Because in his fight against Goto, the volcano head guy. Jogo. I was thinking that didn't sound right. The volcano head guy. When he did red, he said curse reversal red. And they already seeded that he's been trying to do the reverse curse, it's not working.
Yeah.
So that's why
he's gonna learn it from Shoko, right? Because she's the one who
It's gotta be. She's the only one who can do it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And apparently, I saw an explanation on it. It is reversed cursed energy, not necessarily technique, which is why it's so weird and why she's with the big boys. Is she's extremely powerful, and no one knows how it works, but it's also literally positive energy. Everyone uses cursed energy, but she's literally using good somehow, and no one knows how.
That's cool. And I guess they even put it in where it's literally timey-wimey to her, because she's like, you go foop-fwa and foop-fwa. Yeah. Easy, right?
Yeah,
so dumb.
She's a natural with it, to the point that she cannot explain what she
can't explain.
She's
it's
so
instinct.
Mellow. She has no bad energy. She can only use good energy.
Yes.
Positive vibes, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about it. It'd be insane in their worlds. Like, you're using what? That doesn't even exist.
Positivity?
Before we move on, I was watching, I got an email, I think it was from Patreon?
Really?
Or YouTube about, I think it was YouTube about trends or something like that. They have these little videos that they set on the side.
Yeah.
And they're like, how to look at, jump on trends. And I saw an interesting dance. This is pretty old now because it was from season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. The dance that they did in the outro with the funny coloring, that's apparently was a really trendy dance in Asia that a lot of different animes had been doing.
It looked familiar.
It has a name that I don't remember. Leeki, Toka 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 dance, also known as Toka Toka dance or Toka Toka anime dance.
I see. Alright, we spent a lot of time on this. Just going down, rabbit hole of memes. It's fine.
So, also Dororo came, and it's a pretty awesome show.
Yes!
Yeah, any thoughts on that show?
I still love the concept. Of course, I'm the one who, started watching it.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know it. Yeah, it's a great show so far. I love the concept. I love how the character's developing. I love the idea that the character is gonna kind of go backwards a little bit before going forward. Although the last episode we watched, episode 4, was him reacting to one of the changes that has occurred, and it was a lot more tame than I thought they could go, and I was happy with that. I was glad it wasn't as crazy as it could be, and making it more like shonen like. No, it's a little more tame, a little more in character, I guess, for this particular character.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to emote.
Right. What is that? So it was cool.
To the rain with his skin, you know.
Yeah. So I like it so far though, and I'm excited to watch more.
Yeah, I mean the show. I really want to know why it didn't do better. According to the comments, it really seems like it didn't pop off the way people were expecting it to. Then again, it could just be people wanting more people on YouTube to react to it. So that's entirely possible, because when I did look it up, there didn't seem to be a huge amount of reactions to the show. But yeah, I mean, I know what it's like when you want to see people watch a certain scene and there's just no one doing it. So I get that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's going to be another Akudama Drive, because Akudama Drive was great all the way through. I think we found a couple things that were like, what the heck, but it wasn't worth not being great.
Yeah.
You know, it should have been more popular.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see all of Dororo. I'm confident that there won't be any like plot breaking things. I don't know why I'm confident, but I am.
It feels like a quality show.
It feels quality. I don't think these writers are the type that are just gonna jump the gun and do something crazy just because it feels like they're sound and they know what they're doing.
Especially because it's been described as like the origin of a lot of animes, at least the manga was. Like the guy who wrote it being the god of manga.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna go into that with anything less than your best.
Yeah.
So I expect good things from them.
Cool. Yeah. What other animes is this god of manga made?
Great question.
I do not know. I did not look it up. I just remember from being informed that the person who wrote it was called the god of manga.
Oh, okay. So he's the god of manga because he's inspired other writers, not because he made other.
He's one of the first, if not the first, to kind of make manga in the style that it was, that caught on to everyone else.
Oh, I see.
And also one of the earliest animes.
Cool.
It looks good for an early anime.
Well, this is a remake.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a remake, right?
Yeah, you've seen the original? Did I show you the original? Let me show you. This
look at that hair! Oh my gosh!
Wow!
Look at the
like
brown
50s
face.
Spectacular.
Or 60s. Yeah, that's why I was saying when you could kind of see the animation when he saw his eyes in the intro, it kind of looks like this. And he's wearing this clothes instead of the one that he's wearing in the show.
Oh, I did not see that. It goes too fast.
Anchors. He's wearing anchors.
Oh, look, a colored version.
Oh, yeah. I think the show's been redone a couple of times. Yeah, we also have Rurouni Kenshin, which came back.
Yes.
It's a pretty interesting show. I'm watching it for the first time. I do think, as I'm watching it, I can understand why a lot of people hold this dear in their heart when they watched it way back when, because it does feel like an older anime, not in that it's
antiquated.
Yeah, not in that it's antiquated, just the techniques and the story paces feel older.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. So, but it's a great show to me. The only thing I think I mentioned in probably one of the episodes that just annoys me is the style of face of the girl.
Really?
Yeah. I said. I think
you mentioned something like that.
Yeah, I don't like that style of anime. It's very. I think it's because I was. What's the word? Like, not PTSD, but like traumatized maybe a little bit from DeviantArt days of anime artists who sucked. Wow. And those were the eyes, not those particular, but that style of I was the one that would try to draw all the time. And even I myself, when I started getting into anime, that was the style I was going for. And so I hated it because I didn't like how it looked, but I didn't know how to do better eyes. So, but it reminds me of that. Some of the scenes is much better. I'm like, oh, this is much nicer. I like this style. I like her profile. Is it profile? Not profile. When sideways. What's the sideways called? Profile view. I liked very much, but the straight on, I'm not a fan. But I'm getting used to it, so it'll be at the wayside by the next episode.
Yeah, when I said slower, older type of anime, I mean like the story beats in that. Remember how they were hinting at his backstory, a type of person he was and where he came from. It feels like it's lingering and dropping breadcrumbs of that more than modern anime would. Like if you look at Demon Slayer, either they would just tell you, or we get to a fight and we move on. and we get to a fight and we move on. And I have this backstory. You see the flashback for the backstory. You now know this character. Yeah. You move on, and maybe you'll come back with this character and meeting up again. But it does not. It never has to go back on that flashback.
That's true.
You've seen it.
Yes.
With
true.
this, we get breadcrumbs, and it's not moving on from that. We get more story, breadcrumbs, more story, breadcrumbs, because it's taking its time to establish the character and builds the mythos of this character before it tells you anything about him. And yes, we did learn a bit with Yamagata. Saying that he used to be an Imperial and all that.
Got a little bit more.
But it's very little. Yeah. And it's much slower. It takes its time.
And there's still questions.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that to say it's bad. It's just kind of jarring after seeing all these newer animes to go back to one. And it's like, I recognize this from 10 years ago.
Yeah, to have a gentler pace. Like, you're not running, you're not sprinting towards whatever the goal is.
This is true.
And a fight doesn't have to take the entire episode. It could just be a build-up. This fight occurs in 3 minutes, and we move on with our day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Because the fight wasn't like the
whole episode.
It wasn't the point.
Yeah. I guess I'd be interested to come back to this point at the end of this season. To see how we take this particular style of writing, compare it to the modern day. Like, what's better in our minds? Are we gonna become like those people who like vintage wine and spit on any of the current modern types?
Okay. I'm interested to see how you will take it.
Yeah. Because
I'm used to watching slower paced animes because I'm a casual noob. No, not noob. Normie, I guess. I like the very slower.
You like slice of life.
Yes. I like slice of life. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
But I know you prefer more action oriented anime. So I'm wondering how you're gonna enjoy this pace. Like, is it gonna be new and fresh to you, or are you gonna be like, it's too slow?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. But I do think that with my taste for anime, and I think in general our taste, it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. It's that sometimes just in a mood for one. Yeah. It's like I could have a steak dinner every night, but sometimes I just want a burger. You know? And exactly. Maybe I'll have a burger for every day for the year. It doesn't mean I didn't like a steak dinner. Yeah. It's like, it tastes pretty good. I'm just gonna keep eating this. The steak's pretty good though. Yeah. You know, something like that. So watching this is like, I haven't had this in a long time. I wouldn't say I'm feeling like, oh, that's refreshing necessarily right now. But it might change that towards the end. But it does feel like I was not expecting this flavor, so to speak.
Yes.
I'm still processing it, I guess. Yeah. So with that, we can move on to Rose Rants. I've actually got something here. But yeah.
I don't have anything to rant about, but I have something I'm super excited about.
What's that?
There's this game on Steam that's gonna release at the end of July, and I'm super excited about it. It's called Let's School, and I played the demo for it, and it's so much fun. I haven't been this excited or had this much fun with a game in a very long time.
Ooh. Yeah, you've literally played the demo over like 10 times now?
Like 5.
Oh, okay.
It's not 10. It's not that bad.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, look at that.
But yeah, you can build your own school. Like the style of it, you can edit it however you want, and you get to add the little furnitures and everything in there. Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite.
A rustic school.
Yes.
In this trailer I've seen here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I love that feeling too when you're just, you're just perusing and you come across a demo and you're like, why not? Yes. And you try it and then it's like the most amazing thing. Now, I'm hoping this isn't the case, but what's happened to me a lot of the time is you try the demo and when you get the real game, it just doesn't feel the same. So that happens like 25% of the time. So I'm very curious what your reaction is going to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that the demo isn't too big of a departure from the game, though, because the demo is quite literally playing 2 weeks of
the actual game.
In-game yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and 2 in-game weeks, and I'm having so much fun. Oh my gosh.
It looks interesting.
It looks cool. All different styles.
The only thing that's frustrating with building is the way you put roofs down is you put them down block by block.
Oh my gosh.
And then if you want the roof to tilt a little bit more, you gotta scroll through, find the correct roof with the correct height, and then you gotta put it down block. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's the only thing. So roofs are not for me. Taking them out.
So you don't have to have roofs.
No, you don't have
just
to.
for prettiness.
Yeah.
But does it like give you a score or something? Oh, hey, that person just did a bunch of whatever that is on the roof.
They just built another thing.
What?
Yeah. You can click and drag, but you still have to like choose each individual. So like the corner piece is different from those.
Oh my gosh, I see.
And
So
if
it's
you want
not auto
a window
roofing.
on it, you gotta they need an auto roof.
They need
feature,
auto roofing.
please.
Yeah. So it seems like maybe they want you to be able to make such unique things that every individual part can be.
Or you could just do one of the Japanese roofs, because where people just can just go
hang
to
out on
roofs.
That was my plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, funny enough, I heard one time that they actually don't let you do that in Japan.
What?
Yeah,
like,
you're
all
not
animes
supposed to.
show you doing that, but you can't actually get
Yeah,
to
you're
roof.
not supposed to.
What? I thought someone was saying, one of you guys was saying that it's a thing where you can, like they have gardens and stuff.
Some places do have like nice areas, but it's not like a let's go to the roof and just it's just the ones that are just bare roofs with like transformers on the top and stuff. I don't think you're supposed to go up there.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's like literally no guardrail. Like that would be dangerous. Don't let people do that.
No.
I wonder why it got so common then. Maybe it was just originally supposed to be these are the kids on the outs, like they don't really conform to rules, but they just exist. And so they go through the roof occasionally. And then every anime just like, this is a great set piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
The best place to be, the roof.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like most regular TV shows, they have the office scene, right? Where you have the overlook for the entire city and they just talk about random crap.
Yeah.
That has to be what they do with the roof.
Yeah.
They get overlook of the city, but where else are you going to get that except on the roof?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Roofs are fake in Japan.
That's the conclusion.
That's the conclusion.
Yes.
But
this game, I'm just saying, it looks really cool. All the things you can do in this trailer right now.
So excited. Oh
So
yeah, you have to make sure the
gosh.
rooms are cool for the kids to be able to like pay attention in class and
Oh
stuff.
wow.
Yeah, so there's like a research tree where you can research.
Of course.
Yeah, and build up the amount of things you can get. So you start with having like a whole ice block in the room, and then you upgrade to fans. And there's also natural disasters.
Yeah, it looks like there's like an earthquake.
Earthquakes. Yeah, because earthquakes are common in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also.
So do you have to
you have to think about?
Yeah, do you have to like structure your place to be good for natural disasters, or is it just resources?
Kind of. Haven't had any natural disasters in any of the demos that I've played through, but there are like building qualities. Like you start off with the basic building quality, and then you upgrade later. You can have brick structures, and that is better for standing up against earthquakes. So I'm wondering how that's gonna. So another challenge.
I have another question. Is it all sandbox, or is there like a story mode?
There's not really a story mode, but there are story elements of things that can happen. Like you can send your kids on a field trip to like unlock a different area, and then from unlocking that area you meet like, there's another school that we can become friendly with, or they can hate you, and they can like be like, I'm gonna start recruiting from this area that you might already be recruiting students from. It's like, so don't let your guard down or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's no like story progression, but there is like kind of a goal that you want to meet.
It feels a little bit more manageable than say Planet Zoo, because I like Planet Zoo, but it's super like when I stop playing for a while, it's so hard to get back into it because I have to remember how to do things and all the controls to build and the rules and how to take care of the animals and where everything is. So it feels like a little, I don't know if it is, but it feels like a little bit of a step down, something more manageable.
Yeah, it dealing
with
is to me at least.
Dealing with a zoo of kids.
A zoo of kids, yeah. You can also like micromanage their curriculum.
Oh, for like individual kids?
No, not for individual.
Oh, for the classes.
Class.
Okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, and you have like 4 for the day. There's like morning meeting that's mandatory, and then for you pick and choose the 4 parts of their day. I guess you can do English, art, math, and what's the other one? Physical education. And then after a while, you can also unlock after school and clubs and stuff like that. So I'm so excited.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And I paused the trailer here just to show, look how cramped this classroom looks. And look how massive the hall is. What is up with that?
Yeah,
The funny thing is, like, there are rooms like that in my old university.
Yeah.
Good luck passing by. Like, you sit down, and that's where you stay until the class is over. I hated that classroom.
Yeah. I would hate it too. Yeah.
So there's been natural disasters. You have to watch out for the temperature and stuff. Can people die?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Children dying, oh no.
I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of dangerous stuff that can happen.
Yeah, maybe. I think it just affects your school, because there's also like a school influence room, like the niceness of the room.
Yeah.
By how bright it is, how much decorations you have in there. It kind of upgrades the room. And it gives you bonuses to how well the kids learn and stuff like that.
So you talking about, customizing their curriculum made me think, can you have like a favorite class? So maybe. Then that class just keeps like getting smarter and smarter and leaves everybody else behind.
I did have one that like that. And they were like maxing out because there's like a minimum requirement you have to meet for like whatever their major is gonna be, because they're like, each of them has an aspiration, and you kind of want to put them into the similar classes with similar aspirations, because you want them all to meet the minimum requirements to get to whatever college they want to go to.
That's an interesting concept.
Yes. It gets it's just another added complication that you have to think about sometimes, but at the same time it's a fun complication, because once you figure it out, it's kind of a set and forget unless you recruiting new kids.
Okay.
I'm thinking about that, like, in terms of our actual school. Why don't they group kids based on aspiration?
That's too smart.
That's too smart. Like, come on. Like, they're grouping kids, like, they're...
Well, that's what what do you call it? A magnet school?
Magnet school based on aspiration?
Well, there's like the school that our cousin went to was a school for photography.
Yeah, but that's like a whole school.
That's like a trade school.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
No, but it was high school for her.
Yeah, but it's a photography school. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying not like that. I'm saying
for inspiration,
Yeah, I know, but I want it to be on a, like, basic level of school. Like, when instead of taking a kid out just because they're a fast learner and putting them in another class that is so much faster that they can't keep up. This happened to a coworker of mine. Her kid, super fast learner, great, very smart, put him in an AP class and he failed. And then he was doing so badly, he was like, I don't want to go back into that AP class. And so he'd rather coast in an easy class, versus instead of doing that, group kids based on aspiration. If this kid and this kid both want to be photographers, and they're in a similar class that's teaching things with that perspective, they'll kind of like boost each other up. It's like, oh my gosh, I found this, and it's like, really, let me see that, and they'll be more interested and excited about learning, I think. Disagree?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because kids don't know what they want to be when they grow up.
Yeah. I was going to mention that, but I just want to say this point first. But my other thing, I always have these, like, ideas about how I would run a school. And so I'm like, maybe I'd play this game. But I don't know, like, if they can do the things I'm thinking I want to do. But one of the things I think about is something I have actually an aspiration to do one day, is to have, like, a program where kids are led through a thing where they are exposed to all the different possibilities of jobs out there. Like, in a general sense, and then the things they're interested in, they kind of get pushed into the details of. I don't know. I don't really have a specific for that. But that's an idea of something they can do in a school too, you know. But you don't think about doing that unless you have the idea of grouping by aspiration. But it just made me think of that.
Yeah. The only schools do almost kind of have that with just extracurriculars.
Yeah.
And clubs.
Maybe. They can do better.
I think everyone can agree they can do better. Yeah. It's just the way to do it is the weird thing.
Yeah.
The only thing about the schools that I really hope they change one day is I feel like the base level education is too much in some areas and too little in others.
Yes,
that's true.
Like, I completely agree.
Like, I don't think when you're in 6th grade you need to exactly understand what molecules make up magma.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think you necessarily need to know how exactly rocket fuel is created. And I'm not saying that to say that there aren't kids who are interested in that sort of thing. I just think your time would be better spent if you're expanding on maybe how businesses work in terms of structure. How do taxes get filed? Where does your money go when you pay taxes? Things that the average citizen would need to know in order to prosper.
Life skills.
Yeah, prepare the person to live a regular life. And then, once you're done with that, when you're moving towards the later senior year of high school, that's when you expose them to... I thought I heard a weird sound. That's when you expose them to higher learning. You show them what advanced rocketry would be like if you chose that direction, what archaeology would be like if you want to do that for history, stuff like that. And then in college is where you learn how this works. This is how the science behind every single piece of how a rocket goes in the sky works. Because that's what you wanted to do when you were in college.
And by that point, you're interested in it.
Yes.
And interest is important for learning. If you're not interested, you're not going to learn it.
Yeah. And that's the same thing. Like, I hear people all the time saying they want to take like history out of school because they feel like it doesn't help them in their lives at all. I feel like history could be changed, but I do think you need your country's history for one.
Yes.
So you know how it got to this point, so you can avoid other things. You also need some world history to understand how the world is right now and why there's tension around certain things, why certain countries don't like each other, that kind of history.
Yeah.
I agree that maybe you don't necessarily need to memorize every single pharaoh in the original dynasty.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to know that.
Yeah, I do not need to know the history of Shakers in America, you know?
Yeah, you don't need to know stuff like that.
Yes.
So I agree there needs to be a lot of shaping up in high school at the very least. But,
yeah. But even like in college, even the class that we're taking now is business focused. They're saying a lot of people go into businesses and the businesses have to basically give them more courses to catch them up to learn things that they need to know in order to be in the business world. Like writing skills, they need to completely teach them on how to write, because the way we write in English, like English class, is like 2,000 word minimum. But in business, you want to be as concise as possible. So the class we're taking now is business communications. They were trying to teach it to take out the... And then as per our previous correspondence where you had requested blah, 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 it's like, as you asked about before, and just continue, like just be as concise as possible. And they have to completely reteach us because of the way we learn was bad.
Yeah. But and college isn't necessarily perfect because like there's a finance course, right? And in order to graduate for a finance course, you need to learn about ancient civilizations. And listen, I enjoy ancient civilizations, but I understood when my classmate was like, why the hell do I need to learn about ancient Mediterranean Sea? I'm just trying to do finance. I get you. It kind of makes sense why you're frustrated.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so guys, thank you guys very much for joining us another week for ReactCast. Thank you very much for watching the quizzes and these shows as well. They're growing. They're all doing very well. Thank you very much. So we'll see you in the city. Guys, if you'd like to see these episodes early, you can see them 2 weeks early with the Patreon down in the description. And also, you can leave your own comments down below. Let us know what you thought of the episode. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the city. Goodbye.
Bye.